Hey there YouTube, it's One True Griff here. I'm bringing you a Black Ops gameplay. It's an AK74u with grip and dual mags on Crisis. It finishes 39-2 and that's enough about the gameplay. This is my first commentary since I got back from Tenerife, so I could have just talked a little about the gameplay, but nah. So I thought I'd try and entertain you in other ways. And I thought about dancing, and then I realised you couldn't see me dance. So I'm going to have to kind of tell you a story. This story is one of the weirdest conversations I have ever had in my life. It probably won't take that long, so I'll probably get to the end of the video. I nearly said vehicle there. I'm not in a vehicle. We'll get to the end of the video, and there's a couple of absolute massive fails from me, and I don't know whether it was just lag or just me being shit, but they were quite funny in hindsight. Obviously not when I was playing. So, to start off this story. I was on a night out in Manchester city centre in the UK. It was my friend Matt's leaving do. He worked, well, I didn't work with him, I just got invited out for the actual night out. It was an excuse to go out and have some fun. There's about 20, 25 people out in total, I think it was. And we're going to different bars, and I'm not I'm not really into going out and just dancing like some of my mates are. When I go for a night out, I much prefer to go somewhere where I can have a chat, not into a nightclub, more of a bar setting. And on this one occasion, we ended up in a bar, so I got to have this conversation. I'm sitting next to his mate Adam, who I think it was only the second time I'd ever met him, and the first time I met him I knew he was a pretty good guy. He's a copper now as well, so I've got to be careful about, if anyone knows Adam and hasn't heard this conversation, they're going to get a weird impression of him. But if you know Adam, you've already got a weird impression, so it doesn't matter, I'm rambling now. So I'm sat next to Adam, and there's 3 or 4 of us in this group just sort of chatting, and everyone else is in the opposite sort of like corner of the seating area where we are, just chatting amongst themselves. And I have no idea how it got onto the conversation. I think it basically, we were talking about what films were out at the minute and what was good, and did they compare to films in the olden days. And we were talking about, I think it was Alien vs Predator had just come out actually, either the second one or the first one. And me and Matt had gone to see it, and we'd had a laugh at it, at how shocking it is compared to the graphic novels and the games. And so the conversation came on to this topic, and Adam, without a hint of remorse or anything like that, just sort of said, we talk about aliens, and he goes, I wonder what it'd be like to shag an alien. Now I just want to let that sink in for a second. The aliens that I mean, the Xenomorphs. From Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and the Alien vs Predator. Those aliens, they're not exactly good lookers. But Adam decided he wanted to think about what it'd be like to shag one. Now, while I am not the foremost expert on Xenomorphs, I'm pretty sure that their reproduction is more of an asexual kind of way. The queen lays the egg. The egg contains the facehugger. The facehugger jumps, impregnates a other living thing, and the parasite grows inside them, takes on, characteristics of that animal. Which is why in Alien 3 it was on 4 legs and ran about more dog-like. In Alien and Aliens, the impregnation was humanoid, hence they tend to stand up more. So I've mentioned to him that, these are my beliefs, that it may be a more asexual event. And he says it wouldn't stop him. I went, how wouldn't it stop you? He said he'd make a hole. Now there are a few holes of the Xenomorph, but I'm not going to dwell too much on that. My main concern here was with the alien acidic blood. Because surely if you're shove your Todger in there, it would just burn it off. Because the thing burns through the hull of ships. Your dick would have no chance whatsoever. And do you know what his response was? Don't worry, mate, I'd wear a condom. I said, that's probably not going to be enough. It's still acidic blood. He goes, oh, okay, I'll wear 2. It still makes me laugh actually thinking about what possessed him to actually think about that. And you know what? I didn't help the situation, because my next statement was, I wonder what it'd be like to have sex with a predator. I thought, well, obviously it'd be a damn sight easier than doing it with the Xenomorph. But what would it be like to have a blowjob off one? And he goes, oh, that'd be a bit nasty, because it's got those like fang things that sort of like click and whatever when they talk, and if it bit down, that'd be a damn sight more painful. And then I finished off, and I am ashamed to say this, that I came up with the idea of at least you could hold on to the dreadlocks of the predator and force your way in. I am ashamed of myself, and the entire room had suddenly turned at this point. As soon as basically the conversation had got to Adam saying that he would stick his dick in a Xenomorph, the other 20 people around the tables, and some other random people who we didn't know, had all decided to start listening in quite intently, and I'm pretty sure the DJ did as well. As far as at the end of the conversation, I'm looking around, and it felt like everything had just stopped. You know, the world had gone silent, and everyone was just staring at me and Adam, going, "What the fuck are you lot smoking?" Oh, here's the final fail, by the way. I can't believe it took me that many to kill that fucker. So, yeah, that's the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. And, you know, some of you will obviously have heard the Tricoms and what John is like during them. He comes up with some really, really sick, twisted stuff. I can honestly say that any conversation that I've had with John does not compare to this one about the aliens. And now that I've said that, I've just realised that next time that I hear John, he's going to turn around and just try to beat it. He can't help himself. He wants to be king of the weird conversations. For those of you who bothered to listen to all that, I hope it brought a smile to your face. If you've ignored me for the last 8 minutes, then I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. I say it was 39-2. My name's One True Griff, and I will see you all later.